One of the most spectacular stadiums of the World Cup, the roof simply closes when it is raining. Today we are going to get to know the Atlanta Stadium, or if you prefer, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is located in Atlanta and is one of those stadiums that grabs attention even before the first match. A retractable roof, a striking visual, and a huge list of important events. Shall we get to know it together? Hello my friends, let us have more World Cup content. Let us get to know the Atlanta Stadium, which is what FIFA wants it to be called during the tournament, but for those in the know, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, it became the new center of sport in the city and gathered American football, and major deciders in one single place. The stadium is located in Atlanta, in Georgia, in the United States, and it was inaugurated in 2017 as a replacement for the Georgia Dome. It belongs to the state of Georgia and is operated by the same group that also controls the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta United Football Club. The name Mercedes-Benz Stadium came from a naming rights agreement with Mercedes-Benz, and during the 2026 FIFA World Cup, it will temporarily use the name Atlanta Stadium, this to follow FIFA's policy for stadiums with sponsorship in their names, as they do not want the sponsors to be advertised. Leave a like, subscribe if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, and while we are talking, you are already seeing the images of the stadium. Let us talk about the beginning of the stadium. The idea of erecting a new stadium gained strength in 2010 when the Atlanta Falcons started discussing the exchange of the Georgia Dome for a new home. In 2011, the first design of the work was presented. The construction was defined for a plot of land in Vine City in the center of Atlanta, in a parking area to the north of the Georgia Dome. The official decision came out in March of 2013, and the construction began in fact on the 19th of May 2014. The project also required important urban changes, such as the demolition and relocation of structures in the surroundings of the stadium. The inauguration also had its dose of waiting. The stadium suffered 3 postponements because the retractable roof of 8 panels was a structure too complex to be ready by the original deadline. The opening, which was first expected for March of 2017, then moved to June, then July, and was finally set for the 26th of August 2017. In this interval, some matches of the Atlanta United Football Club needed to be transferred to the Bobby Dodd Stadium, and the Georgia Dome was only demolished after the new stadium received a certificate of occupancy. The dome ended up being imploded on the 20th of November 2017. What draws the most attention in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is precisely the roof. It is retractable and has a design in the shape of a pinwheel with 8 translucent triangular panels that slide along straight and parallel tracks. When they open, these panels create the impression of bird wings. Design of the circular opening was inspired by the Roman Pantheon, and a large part of the exterior uses transparent polymer or glass to let the light enter and allow a view to the outside. The east side was thought out to preserve the view of the Atlanta skyline, since the central concourse and the upper stand of this area were removed precisely so as not to block this landscape. Inside the stadium, the structure is designed to receive different audiences, mainly because of the needs of American football and football. It was inaugurated with 2 large changing rooms, each with a capacity for 100 players, something that makes sense because the squads of University American football tend to be much larger than those of the National Football League. The configuration for football is also very specific. There are retractable seats in the lower stand to expand the pitch and mechanized curtains that reduce the capacity to about 42,500 people when the match requires this format. Text sent does not bring a map with numbered sectors nor the exact seating capacity of each individual sector, but it makes it clear that the stadium works with very distinct areas such as the retractable lower stand, upper mezzanine, clubs, suites, and social spaces. In the upper part of the mezzanine there exists the 100-yard club, a food and social area that crosses the length of the American football pitch. There is also the 8-inch perch designed as an area to watch other matches on big screens, and the Budweiser Beer Garden. In addition to this, the stadium counts on various internal bars with an atmosphere closer to a large entertainment complex than a common arena. Outside it, the old space of the Georgia Dome was transformed into the Home Depot backyard, a green area of 4.5 hectares used as a meeting point before the matches, with a pavilion and a shaded deck on 3 levels and 2 floors. Another strong element of the project is the halo, a video board in the shape of a ring that sits below the roof and measures 18 by 335 meters. In total, it covers 5,793 square meters and was described as 3 times larger than the largest single board in the National Football League at the time. In addition to it, the stadium received more than 1,900 square meters of other LED boards, including advertising boards at pitch level for football matches. This helps to transform the environment into something very visual, especially in big matches and national broadcast events. The concession sector also became a trademark of the stadium. There are at least 670 points of sale, and the proposal was always to unite speed, variety, and prices friendlier to the fan. The sales began with the logic of prices that prioritize the fan, with items cheaper than in many other stadiums, including cups with free refills for $2 and beer for $5. Later in 2019, the venue became one of the first major professional stadiums in the United States to adopt payment only without cash in the concessions. Money continued to be accepted for tickets and third-party products, but the internal food service started to work with a card or mobile payment. The stadium also started to value local culture a lot, with partnerships with restaurants and chefs from Atlanta under the brand Best of Atlanta, including names such as Chick-fil-A, The Varsity, and Kevin Gillespie. The stadium is the home of the Atlanta Falcons, of the National Football League, of the Atlanta United Football Club, of the Major League Soccer, and also of an expansion team of the National Women's Soccer League. The combination of modalities explains why the space was thought out for such different uses throughout the year. In addition to this, the capacity varies quite a bit according to the configuration. The original plan spoke of 71,000 seats, with expansion to 75,000 in special events, while the conceptual project of 2013 cited 70,000 spectators, 7,500 club seats, and 180 luxury suites. For foot, the structure can fall to about 42,500, which shows how the stadium adapts to the type of event. The history of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium also has chapters of adjustment and renovation right after the inauguration. In the first months, reports of leaks or small drops of water appeared in isolated spots of the roof, especially during the University American Football National Championship of 2018. The management explained that the roof was not yet fully mechanized and that this would be solved. In fact, the system went through a commissioning process and was concluded on the 14th of July 2018. On the 25th of July 2018, there was already a public demonstration of the roof opening and closing correctly in about 8 minutes in each movement. The question of the roof, in fact, was the main reason for the initial delays. In 2017, it still needed to be opened manually in many moments, and that is why it remained closed in preseason matches and in some important games. With time, the operation was stabilized. Those responsible for the stadium also said that it could remain open even in light rain, since the electronic systems are suitable for external use and the pitch has adequate drainage. Even so, factors such as humidity and temperature continue to be taken into account in the decision to open or close it. If you enjoy getting to know stadiums and are not yet subscribed, take the opportunity and subscribe to the channel, and also do not forget to leave a like on the video. It will help us more returning to talk about the Atlanta Stadium. To improve the circulation of the public, a pedestrian walkway was also built on the west side, crossing Northside Drive. It cost about $33 million US, much more than the value originally foreseen of $13 million US, and was concluded in January of 2019. The bridge links the matchday car parks and the Vine City Marta station to the northwest side of the stadium and to the Home Depot backyard. Even so, the project received criticism for the high cost, for having diverted resources from other urban projects, and also for accessibility problems, since the ramp is very steep and there is no lift. On the pitch, the artificial grass was replaced before the 2019 season, and according to the tech center, must be changed approximately every 2 years because of the intensity of use. In 2024, for the Copa America, natural grass was placed over the artificial base, and this generated criticism after the first match of the tournament. Even so, the stadium continued to receive high-profile matches, showing that the adaptation of the pitch is part of the routine of the place. When the subject is an important event, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium practically was born big. It hosted the Super Bowl in 2019 and will return to host the Super Bowl in 2028. It was also the stage of the Major League Soccer Cup of 2018. when the Atlanta United Football Club conquered their first title by winning against the Portland Timbers in front of 73,019 people, a record attendance in a single match of Major League Soccer. In 2018, it also hosted the Major League Soccer All-Star Game against Juventus, and in 2019 hosted the Campeones Cup in addition to the United States Open Cup final. The stadium also hosted University American football matches such as the Peach Bowl, the Southeastern Conference Championship game, the Celebration Bowl, and the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. There were also major events outside of American football and club football. Mercedes-Benz Stadium was scheduled to host the National Collegiate Athletic Association Final Four of 2020, later rescheduled to 2031. In 2024, it received 2 matches of the Copa America, including the opening of the tournament with Argentina and Canada. In 2025, it was one of the venues of the FIFA Club World Cup with 6 matches, and in 2026, it is being one of the stages of the FIFA World Cup with 8 matches in total, 5 of the group stage, 1 match of the round of 32, 1 of the round of 16, and it will host one of the semifinals of the competition, this which may turn out to be the biggest match in the history of the stadium. Even with all this agenda, the stadium still discusses future improvements. One of the most cited is the addition of more doors to relieve the congestion at the entrance and exit of the public, something that became a frequent complaint since the first year of operation. This makes sense because the stadium has an enormous flow of fans in big matches and events and still needs to adjust the circulation experience for large crowds. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium is shining in the World Cup and is certainly one of the most spectacular stadiums of this edition of the tournament. If you liked it, leave a like, and if you like getting to know stadiums and are not yet subscribed, take the opportunity and subscribe to the channel. Before I go, I am leaving another video on the card. Click and continue with us.